Hi, I'm Callie. 3 years ago, I walked out of prison with nothing but the clothes on my back and a burning question that kept me awake every single night. Why did my own family throw me under the bus? Let me back up. I was 22, working as a dental assistant and living in a small apartment across town from my parents' house. My sister Madison was 19, still living at home, and the golden child who could do no wrong. Mom and Dad worshipped the ground she walked on. It was a Friday night when everything fell apart. I was at home watching a movie when my phone rang. Dad's name flashed on the screen. Callie, you need to come home right now, Dad said, his voice tight. What's wrong? Is someone hurt? Just get here, now. I drove over, my heart pounding. When I walked in, Madison was sitting on the couch, mascara running down her face. Mom was pacing. Dad stood by the window, arms crossed. What happened? I asked. Madison looked up at me, her eyes red and swollen. I messed up, Callie. I really messed up. What did you do? She was driving home from a party, Mom said quickly. There was an accident. What kind of accident? Dad turned to face me. She hit someone, a pedestrian. My stomach dropped. Oh my God. Is the person okay? We don't know, Dad said. Madison panicked and drove away. You left the scene? I stared at my sister. Madison, that's a hit and run. That's serious. Madison sobbed harder. I know, I was scared. I had been drinking and I just panicked. You need to go to the police right now, I said. No! Mom stepped between us. That would ruin her entire life. She's supposed to start college in the fall. She has a scholarship. Mom, she hit someone and drove away. She has to take responsibility. Dad moved closer. That's where you come in, Callie. What? You drive the same model car, Dad said slowly. Same color. You could say it was you. I actually laughed because I thought he was joking. Are you insane? Think about it, Mom said. You're older. You've already finished school. Madison's whole future is ahead of her. So you want me to go to prison for her? It might not be prison, Dad said. Maybe probation, community service. And if it is prison? Then you'd be protecting your sister, Mom said. That's what family does. I looked at Madison, waiting for her to speak up, to tell them this was crazy. But she just sat there, crying, saying nothing. I'm not doing this, I said. Dad's expression hardened. We've already told the police it was you. Madison called them from your phone after she got home. They're on their way here now. You what? My voice came out as a whisper. We had to act fast, Mom said. The decision's already made. I didn't make any decision. We're your parents, Callie. We know what's best for this family. The doorbell rang. 2 police officers stood on the porch. Dad went to answer it while I stood frozen in the living room. Are you Callie Morrison? One officer asked. She is, Dad said. She's very sorry about what happened. She wants to cooperate fully. The officer looked at me. Ma'am, we need you to come down to the station with us. You're being arrested for felony hit and run. Wait, Don't say anything without a lawyer, Dad said, putting his hand on my shoulder. We'll get you the best attorney. This will all work out. As they put handcuffs on me, I looked back at Madison. She was still on the couch, still crying, but she wouldn't meet my eyes. I served 18 months. The victim, a college student named Marcus Chen, survived but had permanent injuries. My public defender convinced me to take a plea deal. Mom and Dad visited twice. Madison never came once. When I got out, my best friend Riley picked me up from the prison gates. She threw her arms around me the second I walked through. I can't believe they actually let you take the fall, Riley said as we drove away. I wanted to scream at your parents every single day. Did you ever talk to them? Once. I called your mom and told her what she did was unforgivable. She hung up on me. Sounds about right. Riley glanced at me. So what now? What's your plan? I want the truth to come out. How? It's been 18 months. The case is closed. There has to be evidence. Security cameras, witnesses, something that proves it was Madison's car, not mine. Your cars are identical, Callie. But Madison's had to have damage. She hit a person. There would be a dent, broken headlight. Something. Riley drummed her fingers on the steering wheel. Your parents probably got it fixed immediately. Maybe, but repair shops keep records. We went to my new apartment. Riley had helped me find a place and furnished it while I was inside. That night, I started making calls. I contacted every auto body shop in a 50-mile radius, asking about repairs on Madison's car model during the week of the accident. On the fourth day, I got a hit. A mechanic named Tony remembered the job. "Yeah, I remember that car," Tony said when I met him at the shop. "Brought in on a Saturday morning. Entire front end was smashed, headlight shattered, hood bent, serious damage." "Do you remember who brought it in?" "Middle-aged guy. Paid cash. Asked me to rush it. Had it done in 2 days." "Was there a police report filed?" "Nope. He specifically said to keep it off any records. Paid me extra for my discretion." Tony shifted uncomfortably. "Look, I needed the money, so I didn't ask questions. But it always bothered me. That kind of damage doesn't come from backing into a mailbox, you know? Would you be willing to make a statement about this?" "To who?" "The police. A lawyer. Anyone who'll listen." Tony hesitated. "If it helps set something right, yeah, I'll talk." I also tracked down Marcus Chen. He was back in school but walked with a limp. We met at a coffee shop near campus. "I'm Callie Morrison," I said, extending my hand. "I'm the one who—" "I know who you are." He didn't shake my hand. "Why are you here?" "Because I need to tell you the truth. It wasn't me driving that night. It was my sister. My parents made me take the fall." Marcus stared at me. "Are you serious?" "Completely. I just got out of prison and I'm trying to gather evidence to prove it." "Why should I believe you?" "Because I spent 18 months in prison for something I didn't do, and the person who actually hit you is walking around free. Don't you want real justice?" Marcus sat back, his jaw tight. "I spent 3 months in physical therapy. I had to drop out of school for a semester. I still have nightmares about that night. I know, and I'm sorry. But Madison needs to be held accountable, not me. If you're telling the truth, then yeah, I want to help. What do you need from me?" "Would you be willing to talk to the police again? Push them to reopen the case?" "Absolutely." I left the coffee shop feeling like I finally had a chance. Riley was waiting in the car. "Well?" she asked. "He's in. I have a mechanic and a victim willing to talk. Now I need to find a lawyer who'll take this case." "I actually know someone," Riley said. "My cousin's a defense attorney. She specializes in wrongful conviction cases. Let me call her." 2 days later, I sat across from attorney Lisa Chen, no relation to Marcus, in her downtown office. She listened to everything, taking notes. "This is compelling," Lisa said. "But it's going to be an uphill battle. You already pleaded guilty. Overturning that requires substantial new evidence." "I have a mechanic who can testify about repairing Madison's car right after the accident." "That's good. But we need more. We need to prove your car couldn't have been the one that hit Marcus." "How do we do that?" "Do you have any documentation showing where your car was that night?" I thought hard. "I was home all night. My car was in my apartment complex parking lot." "Any security cameras?" "Maybe. The complex might have footage." Lisa nodded. "Get that footage. Get anything that places your car away from the scene, and I'll start filing motions to reopen the case." It took 3 months, but we did it. The security footage from my apartment complex showed my car never left that night. The mechanic's testimony about Madison's damaged vehicle. Marcus Chen's statement supporting a reinvestigation. The DA's office agreed to reopen the case. The day they arrested Madison, I was there. I wanted to see her face. Detective Barnes called me. "We're bringing her in now. Thought you might want to know." I drove to my parents' house and parked across the street. 2 police cars pulled up. Madison came out in handcuffs, Mom and Dad following behind, shouting, "This is insane!" Mom yelled. "You're arresting the wrong person!" "We already arrested the wrong person," Detective Barnes said. "Thanks to you." Dad spotted me across the street and his face went red. "You! This is your fault." I crossed the street slowly. "My fault? I spent 18 months in prison for something Madison did." "You're her sister!" Mom screamed. "You were supposed to protect her!" "I was supposed to lie for her? Go to prison for her?" Madison was crying. Callie, please, tell them this is a mistake. It is a mistake, I said calmly. The mistake was letting you get away with it for this long. I'm sorry, Madison sobbed. I'm so sorry. I was young and stupid and scared. You were old enough to drive drunk, old enough to hit someone and run away, old enough to let me rot in prison while you went to college. Please, I'll do anything. I'll tell everyone the truth. Just make this stop. The truth is already out, Madison. That's why you're in handcuffs. Dad stepped closer, his voice low and threatening. If you go through with this, you're not our daughter anymore. You hear me? You're dead to us. Funny. I've been dead to you for 18 months. Now you're just admitting it. Mom grabbed my arm. Callie, please. Think about what this will do to our family. I pulled my arm away. You should have thought about that before you framed me. We were trying to protect Madison. And who was protecting me? Who cared about my future? My life? You're older. You're stronger. Madison couldn't have survived prison. But I could. That's your logic? Detective Barnes interrupted. Ma'am, we need to take her in now. As they led Madison to the car, she looked back at me one more time. Callie, I love you. I'm your sister. Please don't do this. You stopped being my sister the night you let me take the blame. Dad moved toward me, his fist raised. You vindictive little... Riley appeared beside me, stepping between us. Touch her, and you'll be in handcuffs too. Dad lowered his hand, but his voice was pure venom. This family is destroyed because of you. No, I said. It's destroyed because of you. You chose Madison over me. You sacrificed me to save her. That's on you, not me. Mom was crying now. We're your parents. You're supposed to forgive us. Forgiveness? You want forgiveness? You let me go to prison. You visited me twice in 18 months. You didn't hire me a real lawyer. You let me plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit. And now you want forgiveness? Families make sacrifices for each other. Sacrifices? I was the sacrifice, and you made that choice without even asking me. The police cars drove away with Madison inside. Mom and Dad stood in their driveway, looking at me like I was a stranger. Don't ever contact me again, I said. Any of you. You'll regret this, Dad said. The only thing I regret is trusting you. Madison's trial was quick. With the evidence we'd gathered, her lawyer advised her to take a plea deal. She got 3 years, twice what I'd served. Marcus Chen attended the sentencing. Afterward, we talked outside the courthouse. Thank you for fighting to make this right, he said. I'm sorry it took so long. You were in prison. You were the victim too. My lawyer's looking into suing your parents and Madison. Would you be willing to testify? Absolutely. Riley joined us. How are you holding up? Better than expected. It finally feels like justice. Your mom's been calling me. She wants to talk to you. I'm not interested. 2 weeks later, Mom showed up at my apartment. I saw her through the peephole and considered not answering. But I opened the door. What do you want? To talk. Please, Callie, 5 minutes. You have 3. Madison's in prison now. Our family is broken. Can't we find a way to move past this? Move past it? Mom, you let me go to prison for something I didn't do. We made a mistake. We panicked. We never thought you'd actually serve time. But when I did go to prison, you didn't fix it. You just let me rot there. Mom reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I'm sorry, Callie. We're so sorry. Please, can't you forgive us? No. We're your family. You stopped being my family when you chose Madison over me. She's your sister, and I'm your daughter. But that didn't matter, did it? Madison was always the favorite. I was expendable. That's not true. Then why am I the one who went to prison? Why didn't you tell the truth? Mom had no answer. I forgave Madison for the accident. Everyone makes mistakes. But you and Dad made a calculated choice to throw me away. That's not something I can forgive. So, we're just supposed to lose both daughters? You didn't lose both daughters. You sacrificed one to save the other. You just didn't expect the one you sacrificed to fight back. Please, Callie, leave. Don't come back. We're done. I closed the door and locked it. Riley came over that evening with pizza. I heard your mom stop by, she said. She wanted forgiveness. And? I told her no. Riley raised her glass. Good for you. We clinked glasses. For the first time in 3 years, I felt free. So what's next? Riley asked. I start my new job next week. I'm thinking about going back to school, maybe studying law. I want to help other people who've been wrongly convicted. That's amazing, Callie. I spent 18 months in prison for nothing. I'm going to make sure that meant something. Riley smiled. You're going to be incredible. She was right. I was done being the victim. I was going to be the fighter who refused to let injustice win. What would you do if your family betrayed you like this? Would you forgive them or cut them out completely? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more true stories about standing up for yourself and getting justice.